There's a deep understanding of the script and of character with actors being directors. Usually they also know the arc, the story has to go, what the development of the character has to do. So there's a deep understanding of story, which always helps. It's been a great experience. I've done that with Julie Delpy, with Hugh McGregor, and with George. With somebody like George, it's amazing because he's worked with so many great directors and he's also a very visual director. Ewan had a different approach, and we would sit down and then do shot lists of everything, and then he would tell me that he liked the experience because he thought he could direct from within the scene by the way he interacted with other actors. The director has to have a lot of trust because they're doing two jobs at once, and so you're helping out a lot. You're the first person they look to who responds to them. They want to protect the other actors. They're very decisive and very much starting from an actor's point of view, and they're very trustful. So I'm not sure if they're that different in directing. George and I met first on The American, which was directed by Anton Corbijn, and George was starring in that. His friend Grant Heslov was one of the producers, and that's how we got introduced. But then I hadn't seen George or Grant for probably 6 years, and then when they called me to ask me if I wanted to do Catch-22 with them, and it worked out really well. And since then we did 3 projects together. I hate films where you don't believe it anymore, what's happening on the screen, because somebody can fly from here to there, or the sudden word starts looking digital. I'm exiting, my mind is gone. In Midnight Sky we had to create, we had to go to space, we had to be in the Arctic, and we had to recreate some of the Arctic on stage. We worked with a visual effects supervisor called Matt Casimir. I think we used blue screen on 2 or 3 shots only, and the rest is a lot of in-camera and then sometimes rotoscoping, but it makes it easy and it's a really organic process. Matt introduced me to a lot of new technology, so we would do pre-visualization of the spacewalk by in a room like this, empty room, and we would have an iPad and I would walk around, but on the iPad I could see the real space, so we would do that. When we went to Iceland it was just the opposite, because we would go onto the glacier. You stay in a hotel down below almost sea level, you go 45 minutes up to the base camp. From the base camp, where you have all the containers, and then a couple of days we couldn't even reach them because it was too windy and too dangerous to go there. Then you go into these big jeeps with the giant tires which can go onto the glacier. So until you reach your location, probably 2 hours gone. We shot in snowstorms, which is a big challenge because you tell somebody, go there until we don't see you and then turn around. Everybody gets really nervous because they think if they turn around the wrong way, we never see them again. And to do that with a 7-year-old and a movie star is like, there's a lot of challenges. So you had to react to weather, you had to react to a lot of things. You brought some stuff up there, but then you try to keep it as simple as possible, as small as possible, steady can, if you can. What I love about Julian White is he's a real artist. He really likes lighting, and he's really an artist and always looking for something new, some new way, and he really loves imagery. Some gaffers don't, and then they're more interested in electric or logistics or something, but he really loves it, and he adds to the projects. I think the approach is always make it look real, start with somewhere real, then see how you, in that lighting process, how can you add something which shows you the emotion and which makes the story expressive and conveys feelings. Midnight Sky was the first time we had practical lighting department. Everything which was in picture, every light somebody's holding on whatever was on a skidoo or whatever, was built into the spaceships. There's a lot of practical lighting, there's a lot of LED lighting, you could turn it into any color at any time. We used ILM stagecraft. We had a huge, like 120 foot by 30 foot LED wall. We did something which I learned from Julian, where we had a huge Roscoe, like a 40 meters by 25 meters, Roscoe backdrop, rear projection backdrop, and behind that we had sky panels, and we basically could give our desk operator, we could give him pictures of a sunset or of a video of the northern light, and he could create with the hundreds of sky panels we had behind, he could create the movement of light. We could turn it into daylight, we could turn it into an overcast situation where we then added smoke and wind and then snow to make it look like you're within a snowstorm. One of the most complicated shots for me was when the snowstorm stops, our main character is there and he looks up into the sun comes out of the snow. That was one scene which really scared me, because how do you do that? How do you create a snowstorm to stop? Do you do that exterior, interior? If you do it interior, it's so hard to make that look believable, but we did it on stage with that big Roscoe backdrop with the sky panels behind, then we had a light on a scissor lift which we flagged off, and we were looking right into it, and it looked so believable.